is Jeannie Smith.
Good afternoon. My name is Jeannie Scott Smith, and my husband Carter Smith is standing with me. He's the co-founder of our organization. I'm currently the founder and president of Coastline Women's Center. This is a free medical clinic providing services to women facing unplanned pregnancies. Our clinic on average currently serves about 800 women a year, over 20% of the pregnancies in Horry County. It has also saved close to 1,000 babies from abortion since its conception over 14 years ago. I also founded Abigail's Place, which is a family resource center in which we come alongside the mother and child for 3 years, providing physical resources and education. Prior to this calling, I served my community in the healthcare field with a degree in physical therapy. I have authored several books, including my own personal story of abortion, and most recently I have written and released abortion recovery curriculum to help women heal from the trauma of abortion. I have also served as the president of the South Carolina Association of Pregnancy Care Centers. My journey to leave my healthcare profession and start a pregnancy crisis center was spearheaded by surrender to God after receiving healing from my own abortion. I wanted to prevent women from having to hurt and walk through the painful things that I had went through. I wanted to help them heal from the trauma it evokes and to be a voice for the most vulnerable, the unborn. What our culture has done has disregarded the mother-child relationship. It has diminished the gift of motherhood and somehow made everything about women and choices and exceptions and everything else but the unborn child. The injustice in all of this is that there is no justice and protection for the innocent unborn. As a society, we have failed to protect the unborn and give the unborn equal rights to life as you and I have. My statement today is to support the Unborn Child Protection Bill, SB 323, and I will be speaking from 3 points of reference as to why I support this bill. The first one is trauma. Abortion leaves deep wounds, particularly now with our greatest battle, the abortion pill. Surgical abortions may be decreasing from bills such as the heartbeat bill, but let's not be deceived. Abortions overall is increasing due to the unbelievable easy access of the abortion pill. Trauma has always been present with abortion, but in my 16 years of counseling post-abortive women, I have seen the trauma intensify, and here is the reason why. A woman taking the abortion pill, which is a chosen method today, endures greater emotional hardship as they actually can see the fetal parts of the baby pass in the privacy of their home after administering the pills themselves. This intimate and participatory experience results in heightened trauma, surpassing that associated with the abortion methods, because they can no longer look to someone else as performing the abortion, but now instead look into the mirror of the abortionist every day. And that is the women's words that I counsel, not mine. For these reasons, there is more psychological trauma, and it becomes imperative to provide healing and recovery for the profound impact abortion is having on her mental health. There is also an increase of drugs, alcohol, sexual trauma, depression, pharmakia, and suicide. In my post-abortive healing programs, when asked, what do you remember about the abortion, my clients no longer say, I remember a cold, unfriendly clinic. They now say, I remember pushing the baby down the drain of the shower with my big toe. I have also been told that there is so much blood, my bathroom looked like a crime scene, and I saw my baby fall in the toilet. I have also counseled a 14-year-old girl and her parents who were traumatized after taking the abortion pill because the 14-year-old began hemorrhaging and the bathtub filled with blood. She could have died, and in fact some do. To sum up my point regarding trauma, I will share with you a quote from Dr. Julius Vogel, a psychiatrist, obstetrician, and abortionist. Every woman, whatever her age, background, or sexuality, has a trauma at destroying a pregnancy. A level of humanness is touched. This is part of her own life. She destroys a pregnancy, she is destroying herself, and there is no way it can be harmless. It is totally beside the point whether or not you think a life is there. You cannot deny that something is being created and that this creation is physically happening. Abortion is not as harmless and casual an event as many insist. A psychological price is paid. It may be alienation, it may be pushing away from human warmth, perhaps a hardening of the maternal instinct. Something happens on the deeper level of a woman's consciousness when she destroys a pregnancy, and I know that as a psychiatrist. We need a law to prevent such traumas, and I believe SB 323 can begin to provide that. The second point is physical harm. Research confirms what I have seen firsthand. Today, women are being led and lied to the abortion pill and said that it is safe when in fact it is not. The counseling room tells a different story. Women are taking these pills at their own will, many under no doctor's care, to terminate their pregnancy. The Ethics and Public Policy Center performed the largest ever study of the abortion pill. It involved over 800,000 women. The study showed that following a chemical abortion, over 10% of women experienced sepsis, infection, hemorrhaging, or other serious life-threatening issues. That is, over 1 in 10 patients experience at least one serious adverse event. The president of the EPPC stated that the study is statistically equivalent to a Category 5 hurricane hitting the abortion industry. There needs to be laws to protect the health, emotionally, physically, and spiritual life of the woman and to ban all abortion. It must be a severe law that bears great consequences, as murder does, because laws produce behavior. They are there to protect and bring health to the society. Abortion does neither of these, and I know that personally. If there is an acknowledgement of the severity of abortion to both mother and child, behaviors will change. How we raise our children will change. Family culture will be restored. In essence, a bill like this will reform and bring life back to society. We teach our children they cannot drink and drive. They cannot rob a bank or murder because these are laws. Therefore, we can also teach our children that they cannot choose abortion, because this is law, and there are severe consequences to breaking such laws, and it should not be regulated but completely banned. We need something that makes women stop and think about what they are doing, because if there had been such a law in place, I would have never chose abortion. I would have saw it for what it was, murder, and I would have kept my baby. We must make abortion the unthinkable, and I believe SB 323 can be the turning point to both. The last point that I will make, the most important point, is the murder of the unborn. We must save the innocent, no matter the circumstances, from undeserving death. Who he says he is or we don't. And he is a good, loving God. He created us all because he desires family, and he calls us sons and daughters. Every unborn child is created by God, a living being and soul, from the moment of conception, with their own DNA, characteristics, and purposes in life. But to go deeper, in Leviticus 18 and 20, God tells us, do not give any of your children to Moloch. He says we built high places to sacrifice those sons and daughters to Moloch, though I never commanded them to do that, nor it would enter my mind that they would do such a detestable thing. Moloch was a false god, a god of human sacrifice, particularly children, and he demanded the sacrifices of children to appease himself and make people's lives better. Does this sound familiar? Today, abortion choices are made mostly out of selfish ambition and to cover up sin. Today, our modern-day Moloch is abortion. There is a historical spirit of death behind abortion that is introduced to one's life once they choose it. Death for both mother and child. Throughout the history of our time, blood has been associated with sacrifice, and abortion requires both. We are to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. That is the unborn. We are to ensure justice for those being crushed. That is the unborn. We are to speak up for those helpless and see that they get justice. That is the unborn. These are not my words, but King Solomon in Proverbs 31:8-9, known to be the wisest man, again, that ever lived. But these are common sense things, and we are all intelligent people here. So therefore, it is a spiritual battle that we are in. And the reason this final point is the most important point is because if it alone led our decision making, and it should, then the other 2 points I had to make would never exist. I believe SB 323 will protect the unborn, and I thank you for listening to my humble testimony. I do give my full support to it and any other bill that would ever ban abortion. God bless you in your decision making.
All right. Does anyone have a question for Ms. Smith? Thank you very much.